In a memorable event that took place in New Delhi, Careers360 hosted the second Faculty Research Awards, a gathering that brought together nation's greatest minds. It was a profound celebration of their remarkable research endeavors. The core mission of these awards was unique: to bring back the focus on the individuals who do the work rather than the institutions that they are a part of. It was an evening that illuminated their passion, dedication, and groundbreaking contributions. With riveting discussions and well-deserved honors, the Faculty Research Awards were the ultimate gathering of brilliance, highlighting the importance of research, government support, and much more. The event was kicked off with an opening address by Mr. Maheshwar Peri, founder and chairman, Careers360.
Thank you so much, each of the researchers who's come here from far and wide. I've always wondered that in India, we actually acknowledge institutions far more than the individuals that make those institutions. There are multiple kinds of awards that you have for every institution that you work with, but nothing that acknowledges the people that makes those institutions. We know that a company has made a vaccine during COVID times, but we don't know who are the people behind the discovery of the vaccine. Someone I was speaking with recently told me something very interesting. He said, every achievement of science creates a disproportionate injustice to the scientists which made it possible. So for us, what we thought was, is it possible for us to actually gather the best researchers that India has at this point in time under one roof, acknowledge them, celebrate them, and also ensure that, because we also have a lot of vice chancellors and founders of universities and companies that are here, maybe put some kind of pressure on them to motivate, inspire, and even incentivize research. I can, without even a blink, at this point in time say that this hall has the best academic researchers in the country right now at any point in time. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to honoring you and then interacting with you soon.
I'm very happy to be here as a researcher to witness very distinguished researchers receiving the awards from Career360. And I should congratulate Career360 for such an event. It's very important to recognize research and innovation carried out by our colleagues across the country.
So I'll start with Dr. Ray Chaudhary. How important is research in a university ecosystem at this point in time?
I think it's never been any more important. I think, again, you said in your opening remark that India is unique in this respect, that universities traditionally have not done research. I cannot think of a major university system in the whole world where research is not built into the fabric of the university. I mean, students go through university in most universities in India without seeing active researchers teaching them, and thus they are often not aware of the research potential of the university and also the research ecosystem of the country. That is one aspect that absolutely needs to be overturned. Students should not only know that research is done in universities in India and can be done in the Indian ecosystem, but also be taught by people who create knowledge through research. Knowledge creators should be the knowledge givers at the university level, and universities should not be just glorified schools. So this is very, very important. And this applies to all subjects, not just science.
But Lieutenant Colonel Venkatesh, if you may answer this, there's pressure on the universities from the parents about teaching and placements, right? So you're judged in terms of admissions on teaching and placements, but your stakeholders are the parents and the students, and they may not value research as much as a placement would be for that matter, right? So how do you balance these two demands?
I think if you look at most universities which are globally ranked, there's a significant contribution from student research. I think we should not lose sight of it. It should begin at the undergraduate level. And inculcation of experiential learning is something which will bring in this habit of inquisitiveness and also look at problems in a different perspective. It also brings them the ability to work as a team. To that end, we are trying our best at the university to get in more and more student research projects, student research support, publications, and even small project reports, etc. The second point is, the criticality of, research in an academic institution cannot be overemphasized. Professor Sitaram clearly mentioned it. That, of course, not everybody in an academic university or institution will be research-minded. But then we need to make the subtle change. Somebody will be a high research productivity would be there, some would have a lower research productivity. But overall, we need to bring in that common focus within the system that we need to reach a certain level. And as far as research is concerned, it's also cannot look at governmental support for research always.
Dr. Selvamurthy, that brings me to a very interesting point. I think while universities are talking of research, I think MIT's talked of a foundation that they set up only for science, technology, and innovation, right? What is this thought behind setting up a foundation? Because you have 12 or 13 universities at this point in time. How did this structure come into your mind, and what exactly is it?
Thank you, Mr. Berry. In the Amrit Kaal, it is very clear. It is not the India which used to be, maybe during the British colonial rule or even later. So now the last 1 decade, there is an aspirational India has emerged. So in which private institutions like Amity University and others who are sitting here, along with government-funded institutions, we want to transform India into a knowledge superpower. Not only the hub of education, hub of knowledge, hub of innovation. So this is where Amity University, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, the founder president, and the chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and all the trustees, they thought that we must create a foundation which will support, give the overall coverage, finance, and also invest in creating research and innovation ecosystem. So I think this is the Amity model, which certainly we like to build partnership with each and every one of you. And that is how we will work as one team, Indian team. And thank you so much.
Dr. Ramkaran Singh, I think you are the only possibly university which has 3 or 4 campuses in Northeast, right? Yeah. Can you just elaborate, tell us about your experience in Northeast and the research, quotient in Northeast?
Indian education system paradigm is changing with a very high pace in past couple of decades. And when I compare the Indian education system with the global education system, I see lot of gaps. No doubt we have many things to celebrate, but at the same time we have to go long way in the times to come. Because the moment we see 27% gross enrollment ratio in the higher education in the country, and we compare the 80%, 90% from other countries with whom we are going to compete with the 5 trillion economy, rather the third largest economy, then we have to come on the same platform in the education as well. These are the areas where so far the basic education has not been taken place, so I give the credit to the founder of this society that he took the very hard decision to place the universities in these areas of the country as a well and take the basic education and the higher education in these areas. But as per the research is concerned, we have to work a lot to bring the research as part to the research in the rest part of the country.
Thank you so much, sirs, for being a part of this panel. We'll continue this conversation at some point in time because this is very important for me of putting the onus and burden on the institutions to ensure that research happens. Institutions must have sufficient funding and investment to ensure that researchers are encouraged and motivated. And institutions must ensure that researchers are incentivized so that they can continue doing that, what they're doing best. Thank you so much.
With Career360, of course, we have had a partnership for many, many years. Mr. Perry, who is the owner of Career360, we feel has a great integrity, a great passion towards education. He has been doing great work over the years, and we're very proud to associate with this award for research in academia. At Amity, we have a very, very strong focus on nation building through research and innovation. And these award ceremony that happened today to celebrate some of the most leading scientists from across the country is so important because they need to be motivated. because they are the ones who are leading the way for our country in the field of research. And if our country has to become the greatest superpower in this world, it cannot happen if we become a source of knowledge and innovation for the rest of the world.
So I'll tell you of what we are releasing now. It's a white paper about research at academic institutions, and we're also unveiling the top 1,000 researchers of the country. But it's not about the top 1,000. More importantly, the kind of work that Indian academic institutions are doing over the years. That's what this book is all about. It's documenting everything that's happened in research over the last 20 years. Across the country and maybe across the globe also, I think we acknowledge institutions, but we don't acknowledge the people that make those institutions. And most of the researchers, scientists and all are faceless people. They work on the backdrop and solve all our problems, but they're rarely acknowledged, whereas the institutions that employ them are the best and those kind of things. They do have a lot of accolades and awards and everything. So one is that. And two is it's important to put the onus on the institutions to incentivize, motivate, inspire people to do research. If you don't put that responsibility onto them, they might just become teaching institutions, and that will be very bad for the country. Big buildings don't make institutions. The people who work and teach and do a research make institutions, and that's what institution must focus on.
सबको नमस्कार। जिन रिसर्चर्स तपस्वियों को ये अवार्ड मिला है, उनको मैं अभिनंदन करता हूँ और उनको नमन करता हूँ। पूरे विश्व में मानव सभ्यता का विकास का आधार नॉलेज रहा है, और यही नॉलेज हमें अन्य प्राणी जीव से अलग करता है। और नॉलेज का आधार रिसर्च रहा है। हम जानते हैं कि इस देश में, इस विश्व में जो भी बेस्ट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ रही हैं, वो जो बेस्ट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ रही है उनमें सबसे टॉप का काम रिसर्च में हुआ है। हमारे देश में विश्व के सारे लोग कभी नालंदा आया करते थे, कभी तक्षशिला आया करते थे, कभी विक्रमशिला आया करते थे। तो ये हमारा इतिहास है, और ये इतिहास को दोहराने का काम आज भारत में आप लोग कर रहे हैं, इसलिए मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है। इनफैक्ट मैं तो आज आप तपस्वियों को नमन करने वाला मुझे अवसर मिला कि मैं अपने आप को भाग्यशाली समझता हूँ। तो आप सबको मैं नमन भी करता हूँ और आपसे आग्रह भी करता हूँ कि आप इस देश के लिए ऐसा रिसर्च करिए। विशेष तौर पे प्रधानमंत्री जी जब अंडर ग्रेजुएट्स के लिए पीएचडी के लिए अक्सर आग्रह करते हैं, जो हम समझते हैं कि इसका आने वाले समय में जो यंग जनरेशन को बेनिफिट मिलने वाला है, तब रिसर्चर्स भी यंग फैकल्टीज को एनकरेज करें, क्योंकि ये देश पूरे वर्ल्ड में यंगेस्ट कंट्री है, और यंगेस्ट कंट्री होने के कारण इस देश के पास बहुत सारा टैलेंट भी है। हर सिटीजन को अपना कर्तव्य निभाना है। तब हम रिसर्चर भी ऐसा रिसर्च करें कि इस देश में फिर से वो सेवन काल आए, और यही शुभकामना के साथ आप सबका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। As you know, knowledge is a base of our human culture. So we require knowledge as well as research also. And for research, Honorable Prime Minister has taken a lot of steps to improve in our country. He started a research foundation, and as well as a 4-year undergraduate program. After graduation, they can become a PhD. As well as the the education index is now improved from almost you can say 0.6 to 0.85. As compared to developed countries, within 10 years now we made a research paper not only in quantity but quality also. And in my department, under leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and under guidance of our MOC Minister Sri Ashwini Vaishnav, we started various technology development fund for research and design-led manufacturing also. And those who are doing innovation, we started to help them.
The old award system was not good. But this is a nice one because this is being done, as I said, without nomination and without application, and we don't even know. The people who are getting the awards don't know that they're even competing for these awards. This is the way it should be.
I am a professor and head of neurosurgery at the All India Institute, now there for the past 26 years. So we have been concentrating more focusedly on epilepsy surgery program. So we have currently the largest epilepsy surgery program in India and perhaps Southeast Asia. We need to strengthen our institutions and we need to invest more in institutions. So firstly, I think we have a big barrier between the public and the private institutions. So the finances which you can take in public institutions is only from the public sector and from private is only from investments. So we need to break those barriers and we need to protect our researchers from market forces. So that's very important, so that they can concentrate on pure research and science.
My name is Pradeep. I teach at IIT Madras and I'm an institute professor there. Recognition at every stage is important. This makes a person work harder. And that is the whole spirit of an award. Recognition is to inspire a person to work more. And that happens at the right time, it's even more rewarding. If India has to progress, get the right people, give them resources, allow them to excel, no limitations. All that you have to do is to get the right people, put them in the right environment, allow them or give them with resources. India has everything. The challenge is at the right time, resources do not come. And when you have to work on a research problem to excel, to make a mark globally, research there is no mark locally, there's a mark only globally. For that to happen, you have to fund constantly, continuously, over sometimes decades. And that is the only way by which rewards occur.
This event is about how to foster the research environment in the country. And this is a very important after the coming of the NEP 2020 in the country, because apart from the basic education at the school and college level, now the higher education should improve in the country, and that is the only possible when the research environment is improved. And for that, making a right kind of the research ecosystem in all the universities are important. In India, we have close to 1,200 private universities who was imparting the higher education in the various areas of specialization. So now it's become the responsibility for all these universities to develop a better kind of the ecosystem for a research, so that the people registering for the PhD studies can do the higher quality research work.
I think one of the most essential things for science to grow and for industries to develop and for universities to benefit from the industry would be a very, very robust industry-academia collaboration, which perhaps we can do a lot more than what is happening at the current moment. We expect the academic institutions, which their research infrastructure can be utilized by the industry to bring in industry problems, and solutions could be found at the university level. Other than that, the research centers could be established, centers of excellence could be established, and publications can come out, jointly from industry and academia. It will need a big effort from both sides, and there needs to be a good trust between the industry and academia for us to go forward.
Research is absolutely essential in universities, even though traditionally Indian universities have not had research. Going forward, it is important to bring in research at every stage of instruction, at the undergraduate level, involving students in doing things on their own, and also have the research students who are doing their research involve in the instruction of undergraduate students. In the various parameters that the universities should concentrate on, research should be at the forefront. The level of research papers published in universities in India, as well as their citations, is going up, and that's a good sign. And the awareness should be brought to the fore when dealing with universities, both at the private level as at the public universities as well.
And with that, we come to the end of the second edition of the Faculty Research Awards by Careers360. The ceremony was an acknowledgement of the greatest minds of the nation today and the incredibly important research work they're doing in their respective fields. Getting the ball rolling for some incredibly important conversations in the academic sphere, Careers360 has made clear its intentions to spearhead the cause of the researchers, be it recognition or even aid. This has been the Faculty Research Awards by Careers360. Until next time, keep watching India Today.